Okay, so this is the Veil Inheritance playtest number 2 of 4, and it will be Cowboy Bebop AF. So let's talk about questions, because we didn't really get to do that yet. And they're similar in that the way that I have people write beliefs typically relate to the other characters, except this way the frame is all towards you wanting to have something answered about one of your teammates, compatriots, whatever. Um, so if anyone have any ideas based on the fiction we've had already, which albeit isn't very much, but I think there's a little bit of a dynamic showing. Like Maza seems to be a little bit more caring. Is that safe to say than the other people?
I don't think they would disagree.
Yeah. In fact, they may not even respond, right?
It's entirely possible and maybe likely that they will not respond.
Like you'll be the end in that, like, you make them human when you're around. But without the noodly arms. We have already established that canon is no noodle arm action happening. And I was looking through pictures, Lauren. I don't know. I picked that big ship because it's so like unique and interesting. I don't know if that appeals to you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it a lot.
Okay. There's also the Pinterest board. I've got lots of stuff like that, and yeah, but I think it's pretty interesting design.
Yeah,
and I like that they have the dude on the motorcycle below, so that you kind of get a sense of scale of it as well, which is missing from a lot of ship stuff. So, does anyone have any questions that they want to make relating to the other characters that they want answered? Like, does Moza have anything like, maybe I'll be able to break through that hard shell of somebody? Insert any of the 3 characters' names, essentially.
Yeah, that's a fair question. Let's see. You look. Trying to remind myself of everybody's names and all that good stuff. I think. I think the question is, can I get Max to open up to me?
Sweet. So I usually have people make a question about a goal or something rooted in now that they want to have figured out, usually related to a goal, so that it becomes synonymous with when you complete your goal, you also get the question answered. Then one about another person. And then the third one is reserved for something that you want to inject in the fiction that you want to have explored, if you can think of something like that. Otherwise, you can just make it whatever you want. But for instance, if you're like, oh, sweet, we're in Cowboy Bebop. I really like the idea of jump gates. I'm going to make one of my questions like, can we hack jump gates so that we can use them for free or something like that? Then what you've done is like injected that in the fiction and, flown a fictional flag saying like, I really want to learn more about jump gates. And then when we do that, you get XP, that kind of thing. But that's just rough guidelines. You can make your questions whatever you like, technically. But that's just the guide that I give to make fully fleshed questions out. And the more that you explore your questions, the more XP you get. So when you explore it, you get 1. When you resolve it, you get 2. And as always, when you fail in this game, you also get XP 2. And the additional thing in this game is watch out for your amended statements that you guys selected. Whenever at the end of the session, if you've done one of those things, then you also get a bonus XP for that. So that's why questions yield 1 less XP, is because the third one comes from your amended statements. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. It does.
Cool. And the last thing that we saw was you guys had clipped the people that you needed to, and then basically made your getaway in the Martian storm to the ship. And maybe we'll have like a cool ship sequence because Lauren didn't really get to do much last session, so we can make you fly this cool ship some and get away from, you know, whatever they've mustered to get you, or to outrun the storm or something. That would be cool.
Awesome. I had a couple of thoughts about the ship too.
Cool. Yeah.
A lot of thoughts about the ship. Because, and I think this will help for Steve and Rich as well. So, like, in this is the reference. Oh my God, sorry. You can tell I've only had like 5 hours sleep. In the previous sessions of the Veil, my previous character Q was romantically entangled with a character called Imani, who was an empath, which was Shane's character. And it was a really interesting relationship because Shane kept on stealing everyone's emotions as the empath, and there was a lot of like, is this a healthy relationship? Is it not a healthy? Anyway, it's like, sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I thought it would be kind of interesting if, as Q's been sort of genetically imprinted into Max, that Imani was genetically imprinted into her vessel, which is why she has such a strong connection to this ship. And perhaps why she has a hard time reciprocating with other people, since there could be some empathetic things going on there. I don't know. So I'm going to lead a lot into Evangelion, I think, if you've seen Evangelion. I'm assuming lots of people have seen Evangelion. And I think in terms of... Oh, yeah.
I think for a touchstone for that, I would lean more into like a popular touchstone for that would probably be like Aliens, right? Where like the ship is a personality that you are dealing with, and then also there's the AI that is the ship, that kind of thing. Or 2001 Space Odyssey, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Rich,
totally.
do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the Aliens movies.
Okay.
Did not make it through 2001. It was way too slow.
That's fair. I think I passed out a couple times as well. But basically, just as like the ship is an AI, except it's the personality of a previous character, which will be, I guess, portrayed by me, right? Lauren, you're pigeonholing me into playing a body because I have the ship now.
I guess so. If you're fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, the ship is like a thinking entity.
Yeah.
And you have a relationship with it, right? Mm-hmm. And do you have a question about the ship or anything geared towards it?
Yeah, well, like, totally. Because I think, like, while that's what's happening in my brain, I don't think Max is aware of this. So I think Max just knows that she has, like, this really deep relationship with this ship, and, like, potentially has some dreams about jazz bars and other little things that happened in the previous season sessions of the Veil.
Okay.
But she doesn't know why any of this is.
Okay. So what is the question exactly, though?
Oh, man. I don't know. I was thinking, I don't know. I'm not sure if I should go, like, really broad and just have, like what is the, like, the foundation of the root of why I feel this way, or if I should be more specific and be like, who is the mysterious shadowy figure at the jazz bar in my dreams?
So okay, so like the question would be about at nighttime when you're dreaming and you're synced up with the ship, which is the previous character from the Veil, then you have like these dreams ostensibly with like the Imani character there, right, as the ship, and there's somebody there that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then so the question is like, who is the mysterious figure in
Yeah.
this bar? Okay.
Yeah, it's like so complicated now that I say it out loud. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I think I've got it. Okay. So that'll be the third one because you're like injecting something into the fiction that you want to know more about, right?
Yeah, cool.
Okay, cool. Does anyone else have any questions about the other teammates or anything that they want to have answered so that people can steer the fiction that way?
I do, about Moza. And it's basically what would it take for Moza to, I guess, release her hold on, empathy and, be expedient in a mission.
Expedient? You mean wantonly kill? Is that what you're saying?
Something like that.
Okay.
So how could I make Moza focus on the mission, like prioritize the mission over everything else, basically, right?
Prioritize the mission over her feelings. Or her feelings.
Her feelings, yeah. Cool. Alex, do you have any questions going on?
I had one, but it's also about Moza.
Okay.
If it's going to be, will I need to fix Moza again?
Ooh.
Cool.
Definitely delivered with a point of view. Nice question.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And I haven't forgotten. So, yeah, Alex, I was confused because you were saying how, like, you were confused about clipping, how clipping worked, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I looked at it, but I didn't see what you were saying about how it wouldn't work.
Oh, right. So, like, the clip move only triggers when you use a specific option from Hand of Death, right?
Yeah.
There's the harm and clip them move.
Yeah.
But you can only select that if you have one hold.
Yeah.
But if you have one hold, then you haven't missed. So you can never miss on a clip because you use the initial roll.
Gotcha. I see what you mean. Right, it would have had to be separate. Okay, well, I'll rework that next time because I forgot what you were saying. I was like, I should fix that, but then I don't remember what it was. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, because Hand of Death gives you the options under Neutralize to do those things, and you would have had to get hold in order to do it. I think maybe it's because there's other moves that you can take that still give you hold even if you miss on Neutralize, like in other playbooks. So I think that's what I was thinking with that.
Oh, right.
But we'll see. I think it was me planning for people that wanted to game it and take a move from another playbook that still gave them a hold even if they failed, which is probably like an honor bound thing or maybe something from Cascade. I'm not sure. But we'll see. I'll make a note of it and I'll look through it and see if it can be gamed or not. And if not, then I can just delete the miss condition. So, cool. Does anyone else have any questions that they want to make or share or anything?
I had one, but it was about Mazda, so I felt bad.
I guess the show lead has come out.
How come Mazda's just surrounded by these three killers?
I know, it's awesome.
Mazda,
I'm trying to
a
think
Cowboy
ways.
Bebop story.
I'd like to have questions about Rill and Valentine out there.
Sure,
Yeah.
you can make your
Some
questions
stuff.
multiples about other people if that's the most exciting thing about exploring in the fiction for you. Those other three things is just a guideline for when people are doing their questions. You could totally make all of your questions about other people. What was yours, Lauren?
Oh, I was kind of toying with something like, something like, can I trust Mazda or something like, I don't know, something like that. I don't know. Or no, I'm bad at this. I should have slayed more. Yeah, no, I think for Max, there's probably like a hurdle of trust, and then I think from there, I might spiral out more into like, can also help me feel things, or like can beyond my relationship with the ship kind of thing. I don't know. I'll see where it goes.
Okay,
Neat.
interesting.
We have matching questions.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you guys will both have to figure it out. Cool. Okay. Let's get this open.
So are we taking jobs from like a common source or from a specific, I guess, patron?
What's interesting to you guys? Do you want it to be a patron or Cowboy Bebop? They have that thing where they just get the like the messages and then they choose what mission they want to accept or whatever, right? Yeah, you could have like a patron though, like an elusive man with an elusive agenda, right?
Sounds like a good question as well.
My preference is an elusive man, or somebody to relate with, you know, a fixer, something like that. That's always fun.
Sure.
Not that I want to negotiate or anything like that. Like, I don't think this game is built for that, or we're built for that. But yeah,
Or we are. Yeah, I'm not built to negotiate.
we negotiate by killing you, clipping you, and replacing you.
Yeah, no one even knew that you existed when they're done with you. So, yeah, no wonder this elusive man is elusive. I don't want to get on your bad side.
So in relation to that, I think I have a question to explore in the fiction, which is what is their agenda?
Right. Sounds good.
Oh, I know. What? The question I want to answer is, what toll has Valentine's work taken upon him? Can't feel nothing. It's not possible. And I'll mark that up.
Cool. Just looking for pictures of elusive men.
Ooh, that gives me a good question for Rill, actually. But I don't know how to phrase it.
You can have like a 3-sentence long question. It's fine.
Yeah.
Good, I might need it.
Lots of qualifiers. I like this. Did you want to say it, Lauren?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think like what's curious to Max about Rill is if Max feels this way about her ship and her job, how does like does Rill feel the same way about killing people? So I feel like that might loop a little bit back into old April as well. Or yeah, I'd like a question to hit on the effect April, the genetic imprint, has on Rill, the person we have today.
Okay.
How does that sound, Alex? Flash, do you have any other qualifiers for the question?
I can roll with that. Sounds good to me.
All right. Okay, so I think that we're good then for questions. Then I think so. Let's cut back in like the the TV show starts again. And it's got like the veil or whatever. We do the George Lucas side sweep action, and we have like a dust storm approaching you guys as you're getting on the ship. I think that would be fun to like outrun it, because I think before there was a miss on the table, but I just did harm and then was just gonna hold it. This is the thing happening. There's a massive dust storm coming for you, and this way we can see the ship in action. So we see, the ship on the front page then, right? And is that so? I guess it probably like rotates when it's flying, right? So that I imagine the bottom part is probably the back, right? With like the angled fins or whatever coming out of it. Cool. So let's see. It sounds like it would probably be an outmaneuver. Well, how do you want to deal with this dust storm coming at you? And are people? Do you guys do you have it already like hovering just like that, and you guys just like jump onto the rampway or whatever?
Yeah, I dig that. Like the ramp's down, kind of like hovering, ready to go, feeling antsy.
And like this is when the audience was like, "Whoa! I guess it was a good thing the ship or the TV show got through the pilot, because now we have all the CG effects, right?" The pilot was very low budget. Like there's a ship probably, but you never see it. Cool. So if you look at the sheath moves, do you have them up?
Oh shoot.
There's a bunch of different ways that you can try to surmount an obstacle within a sheath. And there's like outmaneuver, hit the gas, which is just you try to outrun it, right? You try to outsmart it, or you can attack it, but it's a dust storm, so I don't recommend that.
No. Yeah, I think about it. Try and get away from it.
So hit the gas?
Hit the gas. Yes, please.
Cool. And for you guys, just so you know, when we built the frame, we built the largest. We chose the largest frame. We might have to adapt that later based on what happens in the fiction. But I'm thinking like the smallest frame is like the picture where people can just like get into this suit. So the larger frame, I thought would make sense for the something that a whole bunch of people could go into and might have living quarters for you guys and stuff like that, right? So your speed is 1. So roll plus speed, and then color the scene with your emotion and add a tick to it. So it'd be like in the movie of this or whatever, we would see Spike's face as he's like gritting down and is either angry or joyful or whatever, and that would be the tick on the emotion wheel. And then mechanically you would add your speed to the roll and we would see the outcome of that.
Oh, awesome. Oh, cool. Steve has asked an opening move as well.
What?
Go ahead and handle that part of the fiction then.
Okay. So I guess we see everyone like scrabbling into the back of the ship, right? Like
or the ramp or whatever.
Or the ramp. Yeah. And we cut to Max's face, and there's like a bead of sweat like running down the side of her jawline. And like some gritted teeth as she's clutching the controls of the ship, and she's probably harassing people over comms. There's like hurry the F up kind of thing to get them to hurry up. And
Moses like, oh, now you want to talk.
and then we see like maybe a real scrabble in the, like just at the last second as the ship's powering up. And I think you sort of get the cool like red hot jet thing is like she's getting ready to take it to jet off. The ramp sort of like slaps shut, and then she's out of there. Just as we see the dust storm like encroaching upon this village of people that we almost all killed.
Well, you only killed a few people. I think it was just 3 people. And then, a couple people, maybe collateral damage because they were fighting you, whatever, right? Shouldn't have been shooting at you.
And I roll. So I roll a speed, right?
Yeah, so +1 for you because you're a big frame. You're not as fast as medium and small ones.
Awesome. So I just pick like, oh, I guess I can pick other.
Yeah, you could put it in other. Or you could just write roll 2d6 +1 or whatever.
Oh yeah, that might also be sensible. Oops. Oh cool, I got an 8.
Cool. So 7 to 9, choose one. You get away free and clear. You take advantage forward. The stress does not cause 1 harm AP to your sheath.
Ooh, let's get. Oh god. I guess let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Ooh, it'll hurt me in the heart.
Okay. So there's a 6 tick harm track for your sheath. So it would take 1 harm. What is it? Give me the full picture of all that though. Like you getting away and the damage, whatever it might be.
Awesome. So I think like we're a couple of like it would have gone off perfectly, except my crewmates were a little slow, and so with them, so like while it would have been fine, the storm sort of like catches us as we're taking off, despite Max's best attempts to get away free and clear, and I think what we hear is sort of like initially the patter of rain that quickly becomes like more and more intense as the sandstorm hits us. And it feels, for me, it feels kind of like getting pelted with hail. Even though my physical person is fine.
Because you're like, you can feel what the ship feels, right?
Yeah, totally.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and I think like the sort of sand kind of paints the side of the ship as well. And yeah, as we jet off into space.
Well, are you trying to get into space, or are you just trying to get through the big bubble into the colony or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's like a cool CG effect as you go through the bubble, as like the sand is like hitting up against it and you're going through it, right? And it's like only letting you in. Cool. So what kind of a like hideout do you guys have? I put a picture in there because I thought that would be kind of cool. It looks like a sort of, I don't know, Mos Eisley within the city below it or something like that. But whatever idea do you guys have for where your lair or dwelling might be, or if it's just on the ship, even that would be fine too.
If we're talking Mars, what about there are inhabitable areas outside the dome, outside the main dome.
Sure.
What if we had, a sealed off area in, like a, ravine or, a, cliff face or something, something a little bit more geographic.
A little bit more what?
Geographic, like a round geographic feature. Canyon or.
You're breaking up a little bit for me. I heard geographic, but not much else.
Yeah, let me reconnect.
Yeah, you're still pretty robot-y. Maybe just rejoin. Oh, okay.
I don't know if you saw in chat, but Steve has an opening move as well that he needs to take.
Yeah, we'll do that. He was breaking up for you guys too, right? Okay. It's not just me.
It was not just you. I'm not entirely sure what he was saying. Like I heard beginnings of it, but
back.
Oh, you sound so much better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I got was there's like cordoned
Yes.
off areas
Yeah,
outside
something, a safer area outside the main dome. Like a canyon or a cliff face, or something that we could seal off.
Okay, so you're not racing towards the city, you're racing like underneath this canyon and then suddenly go into this like
Just an
core
idea.
driven-
I don't know if people want to be more urban or not.
What do you guys think? Hiding out in like a canyon or something like that with maybe you have like a force field or something like that that withstands the elements and you just go into the city sometimes to slum it.
It sounds super cool.
Yeah.
So wait, we're saying that we have a dome?
A force field.
Okay. It's not like a dome that we could
blocking
parachute
off,
through? Okay.
Parachute. yeah. Max could just be like, I'll drop you off. See ya. Time to Halo jump. Everyone can do that. Right? It's fine. Yeah.
Every time we go home, Halo jump.
Yeah, I'll just in all of my games, I'm just like, how can I make this happen?
Jump the RPG through a dome.
Yeah, I like the idea of it having the maneuverability of like the Nebuchadnezzar in the Matrix or something, where it has all those pads around it so that you can like ricochet off of the different things around it. So maybe you're like outrunning the storm in this canyon and it's like getting at you and we see it like clawing at the back of it and we can see it ruining the ship a little bit with the damage. And then suddenly you just do that like 180 thing around like a clip face and it's like a hangar there and you just go into it so that the dust storm just goes like shooting right past you and you're below and docked. That would be cool.
Yeah, like that. I imagine Moza would make their way up to wherever Max is sitting and perhaps notices that there's expressions of pain on Max's face. Max, she touches your shoulder. Are you all right? What's wrong?
I think Max like flinches and sort of shakes you off and says like, I'm fine. Just don't worry about it.
Why do you seem to be in pain? What?
We took a hit from the sandstorm. It's just a minor scratch. Do
you believe them? Are you probing, Boza?
Yes. I am feeling scared for her. I'm feeling scared for her. So I'm going to roll some dice and I'm going to probe. And I have no modifiers. I have failed.
Yeah. I think. Ooh, yeah. Maybe this is how the audience learns about Imadi in the computer. The computer like has a little bit of a jealous streak, I think, and you get this concerned look, and you're like looking at Max to see if they're telling the truth or whatnot. And I think the computer's voice comes on, and I'm trying to remember how Shane characterized the voice, but I think Amani had like a young woman, like Pakistani voice, I think, wasn't it? Right? Like a little bit of that accent. I'm not super sure. But it's a young woman's voice at least. I'm not sure if the accent thing is just what I was picturing or not. But it comes on, and I think the ship has like a pained feel to their voice, and they say that Max, you clipped the wing. Are you going to fix my arm? I think it like it thinks of itself as a human. Whatever. So it says my arm is broken, Max, and it's like cutting and biting in such a way that it knows that it is like, inserting itself into a conversation that was meant to be private. And yeah. So what do you do?
This to me?
Yeah, it's addressing you.
Yeah. I think you see Max like wince, because she knows that she's hurt the ship, but hearing it out loud is like adds more weight to that knowledge. And she puts a palm on the panel, and I think she sort of like caresses it a little bit, and says, like I know I'm really sorry. I'll fix you up later, don't worry.
You hear me, baby? Hold together.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, Steve, let's do your starting move. And if anybody else has starting moves, let's do that as well.
Sure. So I ended up keeping potential from the honed.
Okay. So this is how much humanity you're generating then? Cool.
And just the 2d6.
And Bork XP if you didn't, Rich.
I did, and I need to spike my scared.
Okay.
So I generate 1 humanity.
Okay. Sweet.
So I'll mark that.
And you don't have the move that you can use it on yet, or you did? You paired it up?
Well, potential does allow you to use it. It does allow you to spend it.
Oh, okay.
Either inflict humanity harm or extraordinary feat or
Gotcha. Okay.
protect someone. So
Right. Cool. Anybody else have beginning of session moves? No? Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, well, yeah, let's like fast forward just a little bit of time so that we get the opening of in the beginning of Cowboy Bebop, there's like a jazz song that plays, and right after it, at least in the first episode from what I remember, we get a shot of each character doing the thing that they do to unwind. So we see like crap, I can't remember his name, but the cook is cooking, Spike is doing his kata, that kind of thing, right? So what do we see each of you guys doing to unwind after this job? With this sultry jazz song in the background as it jump cuts to each of you.
I think Moza, I'll tell you what it is. She can go at whatever sequence. She's reviewing footage of all of the other 3 and just watching them in intimate moments as the cameras on the ship catch them.
So do you have I wonder, like, do you have a relationship with the ship as well? Like, does the ship feed you this thing, or is it just like,
I mean, she has like a fold out screen, like, and a rollable screen that Z will bring out, and there are different panels and angles and the like, and Z just watches them in moments where they think they're alone to see if Z can figure things out.
Do you like scrapbook them? Like, do you rearrange them to make these moments?
I could see Z like tapping a particular image. Oh, that's good. And then dragging it off and dropping it into a folder, and then going over and organizing the folder and writing fanfic and stuff like that. Yeah.
Fanfic about, like, in the fanfic of today, they answered me. But
of course, Moza, they answered.
Yeah, we're okay now that you're here.
Smart and clever and funny.
Yeah. Cool. What is everybody else doing?
I think Rail is, well, we're on a ship, right? They can like occasionally turn upside down. So like it would make sense to have magnets in our shoes.
Sure.
But that'd be impractical to walk around in, right? You'd want to have like a wheeled device in there with which you could move around the ship.
Okay.
I think Avril is like magno-healying around.
Oh my god, the Heelys. Healy, so Rich and Steve, just so you know, Alex is to Heelys as I am to Halo jumping, okay?
Understood.
That's great.
Time.
Can we work in some like CG orcs? Let's just have all the buttons.
Yeah, somebody's playing World of Warcraft like
Dun, dun,
88.
dun. Steve, what's your thing? What's your thing?
Yeah, but they
I
still
don't think I
kept
have
the
one.
Oh,
down the hallway. All you hear is "job's done."
sorry. Back to wheeling.
So, what do you see? Are you doing like? Are you just like going down the corridors, healing upside down on them,
Yeah,
or
like
is this
doing
like
tricks. Like this,
doing tricks?
enjoying life.
Are you like parkouring this through the ship? Like, is it in the
Trying at
cargo?
least.
It's like in the cargo bay, and you've arranged these different things so that you can like jump over them and do like twirls in the air before you land because it's low gravity in there and stuff.
I like it.
Cool.
Relaying in the cargo bay.
Nice. Yeah. What else?
I think Max just like plugs into the ship and sort of crawls up like a cat in her pilot's chair and
Do
just
you
chills with the vessel.
do you have a move for that? Confluence?
Oh, I do. Yeah,
But
I totally
it's
do.
only once per session too, so it's up to you if you want to use it right now. But
That's what it does.
it allows you to treat the vessel as an
Oh.
NPC for the purposes of moves, or take advantage forward on moves with the ship. So you're really good with ships,
Excellent.
and can treat them like people because to you they are like people.
I kind of want, yeah, let's do it. I kind of want to do this.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? I'll do it. Maybe
Okay.
roll.
So what does the confluence look like or feel like to you? Like, what do we see on screen? How does the audience know that something cool is happening with you and the ship, and what is the relationship like, etc.?
Oh, awesome. I think what we see is like Max initially in darkness, but it's like a warm darkness, like it's sort of comfy and cozy, like a duvet. And after a few seconds, we see like a light, like a spotlight, come on to like a stage, and then we see a couple of tables like pop into existence as well, or sort of like come into existence, and then very soft jazz music, maybe like fading from the intro jazz to this like softer jazz, and I think Max goes over to one of the booths and just like curls up in one of the jazz booths.
Do we see the band playing the theme song?
Oh yeah, totally.
Cool. So then the audience is like, oh, that's where it came from, right? And it's the same jazz club from the before?
Yeah, same jazz club.
Okay, well, do you want to describe it for everybody? Because Rich and Steve never got to.
Now I have to remember what it looked like.
Well, it's gonna be whatever it is for, like, whatever it was in the previous season. Now it's whatever you and Amani imagine it to be, right? Like, it's probably like a dream. It's like slightly different than what it was before, but still the same, right? Like, you've probably made it your own a little bit. So don't feel beholden to what it was before. Just whatever you think is interesting now.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I think in terms of color palette, it's quite warm, lots of like dark velvety reds, and bits of gold, and there is a bar behind all of the tables with the various collections of booze. There's no one in it at the moment. There's never anyone at this place. Although Max gets the feeling it used to be kind of a popular place to be. And just like it's in a dream, everything's a little bit laggy. And
Well, maybe people know that, or maybe you know that it used to be popular because it's one of those old jazz places that have all the pictures of all the people that played there, right? Like all the famous people signed and stuff, and it's like, these fictional people, but it'll have like throughout the years or whatever, right?
yeah, I dig that a lot. um, and yeah, there's just like a solitary stage with this band playing on it next to a bunch of like just like some tables and jazz booths. And it feels quite smoky. And I think the air smells quite savory as a result.
And so, so I understand the question from before. There's always you and Amani here, and there's the mysterious other person, or is Amani the mysterious other person?
I think Amani. Yeah, I think Amani is the mysterious person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like I mean, perhaps we do sort of get this sort of like obscured shot of this very vague, shadowy figure in a booth next to Max.
Yeah, for now, let's keep them in the dark so that like it's got the anime/jazz club lighting so that when they sit down in the booth opposite to you, they're like cloaked in darkness. But we
Yeah,
see
exactly.
their hand, and it's like I think it's a feminine hand and has like dark red nail polish. And for like the people from that were watching the show before, it's the same brand of whiskey that Amani was drinking uh, at the bar in the previous season. I can't remember what it was. I think it was Jameson's or something like that.
I
Or
love it.
that would be Scotch, but maybe it's Scotch that. But there's still this like air of mystery around who this is, and the voice says, I think it says "Welcome back," and then like we kind of get the typical anime thing where you can see the person smile in the darkness, even though you shouldn't, right? And it's like a warm smile. It's not malevolent or anything like that. Yeah. So what do you do?
Ooh.
And roll confluence too to see how much hold you get with the vessel.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
Oh, and as a bit of color, I think too, the arm that has the Jamesons out is bruised, right? Because it's the ship as well, supposedly, right?
I love it. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. And it looks like a lover's quarrel, like a husband gripped the arm too strong, and now there's like the bruise marks there.
Oh no. I'm gonna go to 4.
So, oh, I know. So I think, so Mark XP, by the way, if you didn't. And what happens is like, then the smile goes from like loving to that malevolent, like Sidious smile, right? And I think it becomes like a monologue basically where she says in like a sultry sort of tone, I love what we've built here, but if you want to come back, you should take better care of me. And then like throws the drink in your face and then you wake up.
Oh my god. I love it.
Or not wake up, but you're out of the confluence, right?
Yeah,
whatever that,
back into
like,
the void.
Yeah. What does it physically look like? Like, is it just like a mind Wi-Fi thing with the ship? Or like, do you actually sit in a pilot's chair and like, is it a Ghost in the Shell docking thing in your neck or something like that? Or what?
I had the letter in mind, but I kind of like the former. It feels more intimate. Let's being constantly online with the ship.
Okay, so wherever you are. So she's like actively rejecting you this like episode or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Wherever you go, she's like, no, you don't come to the 50s place, 50s jazz club. Cool.
But I do like the reactionary shot of Max is like this happens, and then she sort of like darts backwards as if she had been splashed in the face with a drink, and maybe even sort of like wipes her cheek a bit to
Right.
catch like scotch that doesn't exist.
Right. Cool. And what does Valentine do to unwind?
Valentine's reasonably solitary. He usually spends the time in his room or his area of the ship. He'll be working out, and then on a wall of video screens in front of him, one area of the screen will be flipping of most wanted posters and other people who are wanted to be found. And then there'll be some data on the Mars colony and status of the dome and some camera feeds, and then another whole section is just on the news.
Cool. So here's a question, are you like the man candy for the women in this one? Like we get the working out shot and it's like
I think
Ryan
it's
Gosling.
a combination of the the Arrow and the Teen Wolf workout montage,
right, with
where
he's got that
doing some sort of pull-ups or something, and then wants to change something on the screen, so he continues doing it with one hand and just gestures and
the salmon ladder, right? Like you're just going like up and down it all the time or something.
Yeah, I mean that style of shot, I'm sure.
Yeah, cool. And so are you doing it at the same time then? Like you get to the top and as a reward you get to see this feed or whatever that you're
the feed's always there, but it's just he's not only I guess continuing to perfect his physical status, but trying to also maintain his the mental amount of data he needs to track targets.
Right. Cool. Nice. So you're the we'll see if you're the toxic masculine hot guy, basically. Nice.
I think Moza already has an opinion on that, but
yeah. Nice. So maybe we fast forward a little bit to everybody. I really like in my games eating scenes, so people can talk to each other. Then we also get a feel for like what the world looks like, because then we can see what food and interactions and stuff looks like. So what is it you guys imagine you're eating? Is it like the kind of future where it's like rehydrated vegetables and stuff like that? Or is it like ready-made meals that you like Fifth Element style, you put the little tiny thing into the microwave and it rehydrates it? It's the chicken good. Or what is it? Is there even cooking?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, that's a big question on the world. Maybe on ship, it's all MREs type things. So prepackaged meals that have different consistencies, but there's no real cooking. Maybe there's some kind of warmer to it to make things heat up, but everything's already done. Because you're on a ship, right? You really can't afford the space. We can, but that's what I posit, and I'm happy to be trumped. But that was my thinking. And then when we get in a place, then eating cooked meals is like a big thing.
Yeah, and like
ship serves it to max cold.
Well, I like this being the shot of like telling the audience what your character is kind of like in a different kind of way. Like if you're full of passion or something, then maybe you put like tons of Tabasco sauce on it, right? You want it like hot. And then like if you're like bland or whatever, maybe you put a lot of salt on your dish. And then like Max, we see it being all cold, because you're
trying to reheat it for the 6th time, and
it just like never works for you.
The same.
Yeah. Valentine puts in theirs and it's like sultry and hot, just like their bod, right? So what about Brill? What does your meal look like, and what does it say about you? What is your condiment?
Oh man, I like the idea that it's like like synthesized oil flavor. So it's like the bring back the whole like eating machines aspect.
Oh, so it looks kind of like motor oil, but you insist that it tastes really good.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember what that sauce is like, but there's a Korean one that looks like that. It just looks like black, and it actually does taste like pretty good. But when you look at it, you're like, this is oil or like squid juice or something, right?
Nice.
So maybe you have that on it.
I dig it.
Max is cold. What about Moza?
This week, Moza is trying this synthesized oil flavor, and Z's trying to get the exact mixture of what Rill is doing, and Z makes a little like face, and then drinks a little bit more, and then her face like screwed up, and then a little bit more, just taking it until it tastes good, which
Never happens.
never does.
Yeah. What about Valentine? Salt?
I think, let's see, what did I say for Valentine? If I recall, what I selected. He's definitely, he preps his food, and it looks like some sort of stew-ish. But then reaches into one of the pouches on his on his jacket, and takes out what looks to be like dried peppers, and just crushes them, and adds it to the meal.
He's spicy. Nice. Cool. And then I would suggest for this scene, if anybody has like, you can use this scene to hit on any questions that you want, I would suggest. No?
Bunch of passive people we are. I'll sit down next to Moza. Like, I don't know, Moza. Back there, you hesitated. Why?
Yes, I did. I'm very sorry. I'm glad you were there. Why? There was a whole community. I thought that we were after criminals, not people.
The tech was about to sound the alarm. That jeopardized our mission.
It did.
If I wasn't there, we might not have made it out.
And then you had to clip them. Are you all right for having to do that?
They stood in the way of our mission.
I'm sorry that I put that
What's the problem?
on you. There were children.
Like,
Mates.
we have to worry about our survival first. I need to make sure that you have my back, our back.
I would like it if we considered all options on neutralizing threats. It seems as if this team only has one option.
The time for other options is when the plan is going our way.
I understand. I'm sorry I put you in that position. Next time, I'll work harder to make sure we have choices.
I would like to probe during this.
How are you feeling?
I am feeling... I blew up the wheel for a reason. I'm going to go frustrated. So mad.
Okay.
Like that.
I don't want one position. I want all positions. Nice. So hold 3.
Yeah.
And
You're acting contrite, but what are you really feeling, Mozo?
Disappointed. Disappointed that you won't even explore the option of only taking out our target and finding other ways to do the job. A little sad.
What do you wish I would do?
At least entertain the option.
And what do you intend to do about it?
I think at this point, Moses' intention is to try harder to learn why you're so cold.
As we finish that conversation, you see Valentine just kind of sigh and just, turn away and continue eating.
sounds good. Anyone else want to have a scene with any other character about questions? Get that sweet XP.
Yeah, I dig like Max sitting down very unceremoniously next to Rill. And I like to think Max has got a bowl of the same stew that Valentine does, but it's like cold and very unappealing. And stew is like Max's least favorite of the dishes that get served as well. So you see her kind of like picking through with a spoon, sort of like drawing a bit up and then like dropping it back into her bowl again as she's looking at it, and then like pushes it to the table, and then instead turns to Rill and asks if she can steal some of yours.
I mean, it's an acquired taste, but sure.
It's terrible.
I'm sure it's great. Plus, it's warm. I think she'll take a bite of your food. And maybe she'll just pull a bit of a face. But it's better than cold stew. And from memory, Rill has the same kind of like, she's like a throat tattoo, right?
Yes.
I think Max eyes up the throat tattoo as she's stealing your food. And she says, like, oh, I've always admired your tattoo, but I never asked you why you got it.
Just felt right.
Yeah? And then the design, like, what does that mean? Does that just feel right as well?
Just an image that crops up from time to time.
I mean, that's pretty vague. What do you mean?
I mean, every now and then, I just see these images of a spider in my dreams.
Oh shit! How often does that happen?
Not often.
This is gonna be like a really weird question, but does it appear at a jazz bar?
No. Why do you ask?
Because, well, I guess whenever, I mean, it only happens when I'm with the ship, but I've been having recurring dreams as well, but they're always at a jazz bar.
The ship. Is this going to impair your mission parameters?
No, the only thing impair my mission parameters is this cold food, and I think she like shoots a look like at the ship's face. No, it's fine. Me and the ship are just fighting.
It sounds like a very big cause for concern.
Oh, I mean, I'll make it fine. I just need to go and fix her up after I finish eating.
Do.
Yeah. No problem. Just I don't know. Thanks for the food. It was food.
Well, you can eat your own food next time.
Oh, man. I think like Bex gets up and slumps off and goes hungry.
You got a little bit of food. Does anyone else have scenes they want?
Not a scene, but I think you see Valentine go and reheat up the terminally cold food.
Comes out nice and hot. Nice.
Yeah, and he reaches in his pouch and gets out his, peppers again.
Nice. No, I for a second I was like, oh, is he gonna bring it to Max? That'd be nice. He's just like, oh no, that's mine.
Oh wow, Moza also got really excited to see this moment because of course Moza heard the cold food and the complaint and was already considering how to fool the ship into giving warm food and thought, oh yay, Valentine's got it. Oh.
Yeah, I like seeing that in the background, Moza, their the hopes getting up and then all of a sudden just crushed.
Nice. I like that. I like the crushing. Cool.
That was just just good drama.
Yeah, I love it. I was just bugging you. I like it too. Brill, are you good with questions and anything like that? You're solid. You don't need to pose anything to other people. You said you had one about Moza, didn't you?
I did. I think after Valentine and Max have left, and it's just like Moza and Rel eating this oil stew. Or might be like, Moza,
Yes,
are you feeling normal?
Moza takes a moment and Z is observed the expressions and the point where Rill has to work up to ask that question, and Z mimics it and says, I'm feeling very normal. How are you feeling?
I'm also feeling normal. I noticed that in the last mission, there were some issues. And so I was concerned that it may have adverse consequences.
I was very fortunate. Valentine stepped in to make sure that I was not harmed. I'm fine. What? And Z reaches across and puts a hand on your forearm. Thank you for asking.
Can I probe this?
Yeah, sure. I like how Moza is the most forthcoming with their emotions and thoughts, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
So puzzling.
Yeah. And how is Brill feeling?
Look, this is definitely out of the comfort zone.
Oh yeah.
Emotions.
Scared.
Yeah, I like scared.
Cool. Yeah, because confused is in scared, so I think that's good.
I got a 12.
Wow. You're good at that.
Can we custom move when you try to probe Moza, just take an advanced result?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I think this is in regards to the "Are you okay?" thing.
Yeah.
Which is, are you telling the truth?
No, Moses not okay.
Moses
Moses
not okay.
Heartbroken. Moses taken it very hard that those security guards died because of Zer, right? If Z had done their job, then they would just be KO'd because that's Moses' MO. But Valentine had to come in and save their butt, and so yeah, it's terrible.
Goodness. What do you wish I'd do?
Keep asking questions.
Oh, that's a good third one.
And to expand on that, keep asking questions. This level of interest that Rill has shown, it feels like Moses. Like, this is groundbreaking. This is the first one. So it's like an obstacle course where every obstacle looks impossible, and then all of a sudden you cross the first obstacle. So you're like, yes, I can complete this course. I've got this one. I just need to do it just right.
One person has expressed emotions in the team. We
Yes.
can do this. Andrew, wait, I have to go. I think the last one will be, how can I get you to be okay?
Ooh. To corner Moza, to confront Moza about the loss and let Zer express those feelings, which means you have to hear it. I'm not sure if I did that. The price is high. I think this is enough for Moza to probe, if that's okay. Like that.
Definitely.
Okay, because for Valentine it was kind of a one-way street, and but here, I am gonna go. Even though Z is very sad about the loss, there's this moment. This role is joyful. Feels like it's joyful to me, so I'm gonna go there.
Get that XP, and I'll hold the miss.
The worst. Oh, and you don't have a 6- ask a question. You'll hate the answer. Yay! It's just you.
So what do you do, Brill?
Yes, I think, like, after hearing that, these comforting lies, it was like, Moza, I need to know if you're capable of fulfilling your missions. If there are issues, then you need to speak to me about them.
I can do the job. I wish that we did it differently, but I don't have much power to say when I didn't fulfill my objective in the last mission, and I understand that.
So if we change, what do we need to change?
So even though that was like a bit of a cold ask, you were asking that question, right? Like you were getting, your objective is to get Moza to talk about what is bothering them, even though it was a little bit of a cold frame. Yeah? Is that right, Alex?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, then I'll go a little bit further. We didn't have to kill those guards. They weren't our targets. They had not committed the crimes of our targets. I understand that we have to do bad things against bad people, but they were just part of a community of outcasts. And what good are we if we commit that kind of atrocity to cure other atrocities?
I agree. They were not within the scope of the mission, and we made a mistake.
Is this an intimate moment?
It is for Moza.
Why not?
Why not? That's what I like to hear about intimate moments. Whatever. Cool. So what is each of your moves?
I'm an old man, so I'm going to copy the text of the move and put it into a place where I can blow up the font. Because, cheese and crackers, what is that, a 6-point font? Ugh, so small. Come on.
Alex, do you want to trigger yours?
Yeah. So the Clipper special is when the Clipper shares a moment of intimacy with someone, be it physical or emotional, roll. The other player can help or hinder you, their choice. On a hit, you mark XP. On a miss, there's something that needs to be dealt with between the two of you. When and if you resolve it, then you both mark XP.
Neat.
And
do you want to go ahead and roll, or do you want me to read mine?
well, in it too, it says that you can help or hinder too.
Ooh, yes, I want to help.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess, Brill, you roll first, I guess, and then I guess if it's needed, then you'll do it, hey?
Sounds good. Sense. Am I rolling with emotion or just flat?
With emotion, yeah. How is Brill feeling about this moment? Probably not scared anymore, are you? Or is it scared? Is it scared to be this vulnerable?
That is a good question. I think it's joyful.
Nice.
It's like there's common ground.
Turn it around. Yeah. Cool. So roll that.
That is a 6.
So a help would help.
I will help. Yay. I think, even though I know it's going to spike me out, she's continuing with joyful. Z will continue with joyful, so. That's a 9.
There you go. So
nice.
You get XP. This moment is so important to Brill that they get XP for it.
Yes.
What is the mirrors one?
When the mirror shares a moment of intimacy with someone, be it physical or emotional, and you tell them what they learn about you that is not part of your imprint or reflection you have taken on, but truly something of yourself. I think that Mosa's expression of regret is an expression of their self, but like it's also the empathy for the imprint, right? Because the imprint had that regret stripped away. So I don't know. Does that? I guess
I think that counts.
Okay, cool. You may ask the player one of the following questions, and they will answer it honestly. The questions are: what does your character hope no one will find out about them? Is there a moment your character thinks of often that they wish they could take back? Does your character wish for a moment of intimacy with someone else? Or if your character feels pain, what kind is it and why do they feel it? I'm going to go for, does your character wish for a moment of intimacy with someone else?
Oh, I think yes, with Max.
Disappointed, but okay.
Nice. And I think on that, why don't we take our 5-minute break? Yeah. So let's come back at 32 because it's probably going to change to 7 soon. Okay, 32. See you soon.
So Steve, we moved into this house in December, and it's December in Jacksonville, which means that it's like normally in the 50s. And right now I have I'm lit by natural light. There's a skylight above me in my office. And when we first moved in, it had like the real thick silver on either side piece of insulation that they had put on top of the grate, and it blocked out all the light, and so it was dim in here. I'm like, that's stupid. So I took it out, and now it's like 80 outside, and it's starting to get toasty in this room. I don't have any lights on or anything.
I was going to say, you had me upset at 80, so.
Oh, sorry. It's 80 out. It's like 81 outside.
I guess you know why they put it there then, hey?
I mean, I'm going to
probably get
figure out
some sort of
another
film or
way
something,
because
too.
I really love the natural light. Like, it's really comfortable. I don't like that it makes my forehead shiny, but that's for you guys to deal with. I can still see.
I was going to say, I'm always at that point, so.
I'm sorry, what was that, Rich?
Nothing.
I'll just do a little powder and it'll be okay.
Yeah, Steve, you're pretty Twilight over there, that's for sure.
Kind of perpetual.
Yeah.
He's not that pale in real life, though.
Lies.
I am pale in real life, so when that light hits through the window on me, it's definitely like Twilight. When I play really early on the Saturday games and stuff like that, or Sunday morning, whenever it's really early and the sun is just rising, I have another building across from me, but it manages to hit me just right that I'm like Edward Glow style for a while there. I am Canadian white. How was your game this morning? P.S. Good? No?
There were good moments. I feel like I don't know. I should have killed some darlings. That's all I'll say.
I was going to say, I thought it went better than Rich says, but
that's always
even with the depth of my character.
Rich is like the first, I think, to criticize himself too harshly from what I've seen of his playing and GMing and
Thank you.
MCing.
I still think there are things I could have done better. A lot of stuff. But some fixes I can make. So it's not one of those like totally depressing, this was an awful, horrible thing and it's just awful badness. It's more of there are a couple of near misses that if I just thought about it a little bit more beforehand, I could have corrected before I was like knee deep in it. So I fell in love with the thing, the setup, and it was too long of a setup. And so it just got confusing for them. Whereas in my head, I of course could read all of this like screed that I had in front of me, and it made sense to me. And there was that. The end.
I'm sure it was good anyway, Rich. So does anyone have any other scenes? I think like the next thing I have in mind is for you to, get contacted by Elusive Man and Job. So if anybody has any particular scenes that they want to frame and drive towards before that, then just call them out and frame it, and we're good.
I wouldn't mind trying to fix. Oh, yeah, go.
No, go.
I wouldn't mind trying to fix the ship.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a thing.
I could work into that. So Mosa now realizing that Real wants to be intimate with Max is now going to try to imprint on Max and figure out how Max works.
Oh, let me DJ your hookup.
He can then maybe help fix the ship. That's all that looks like, right? That's all it looks like.
Yeah, I think that fixing it would just be something that you would probably consume credit-wise. I don't think there's like any. I'm not really interested in a role that's like, "Whoa, baby, you fuck up,"
Yeah. Well, I was
Fixing the
thinking.
ship,
I did.
whatever.
If you wanted to color it a bit with this, I took interface.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you want to fire off interface, right?
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Okay, so what does it paint the scene, you two? What is this like? What does the hangar and all that kind of stuff look like? Are you guys out in like your mag shoes on the ship, and you've got like Is Max in like a the traditional wear of a mechanic, and you got like a blowtorch and some parts and stuff like that, and Moses there helping or something, or what?
Yeah, and I like to think like, well, I'm interfacing with the ship through this. The ship is kind of helping out too by like handing me tools and stuff from like the ship's exterior. Like a panel pops open and then like one of those, not a noodle arm, but like
It's
a
got
sticky rubber
some.
arm, like
It's like R2D2 shooting parts at you or whatever.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
good. Maybe there's like I like the idea of like a hatch being open, and then you've got like this like bubble close to you that the ship is projecting, and within it there's just like a mag field with the parts like floating around in it, like suspended in animation, so you can just like grab them, take them out, and then put other ones in this bubble, and they just like hang there. And
I love it.
it's just, yeah, cool. And in the distance we see, well, I haven't really ever learned much about Mars. In the distance, we see like uh other planets or moons or something? I don't know. Let's just say it is, because I think that would be cool. In the distance, we get the Tatooine to moon action going on, right?
Yeah, I think Mars has 2 moons.
I have no
Phobos and
idea.
Deimos? I don't know.
Maybe, but you see them. And then off in the corner, there's the sun too, or something. Then, if there's 2 moons,
It does have
Sweet.
2 moons.
Awesome.
Phobos and Deimos.
Yes, I got it right. Sorry, I don't know nothing about space apart from that one fact.
Yeah.
And the year is 687 days long.
Oh, well, there you go. Long time. So, anything else we should know about this scene, you guys?
Just that Moses dressed in the mechanic outfit that Z probably stole from Max's closet.
Nice.
It even says like Max on the little.
Right,
Flag.
exactly that.
Cool.
Max isn't mind terribly because you're helping.
So helping. Wait till the dice determine how much help I give.
I like to think Max is also doing this with like I mean, she probably needs more help this time. She has like phantom pains in her left arm, right? So she's favoring her right as she's like fiddling around with these tools and stuff to fix up the damage these sandstorm did to the ship. Probably clogged something.
Do you want to have done interface before Moza interacts with you, or after?
Ooh, what do you want to see, Mother?
Ooh, I want to see the interface. I'm really curious about that.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And this is a legacy move. If you roll a 1, then you take humanity harm as well.
Yeah, which also seems pretty fitting.
Yeah.
Do I roll for anything, actually?
I don't know. What does interface say?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry. When you integrate with or open your mind to another intelligence that isn't human, you may name them as an NPC and establish their intelligence and disposition with the MC.
Okay,
Whenever you merge with another... Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah.
Whenever you merge with another, both of you are affected in some way. The MC will tell you how at the appropriate time.
Okay. Let's see. This is an apparatus move, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, so it's another way for you to be able to treat it like a NPC, basically.
Oh, awesome.
So what does it look like? It must be different than the confluence, right? I would imagine that this would be the equivalent of like Ghost in the Shell, like cabling with somebody so you can speak to them, right? As opposed to like you're in a new place that is a jazz bar and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, this is like plugging in the Ethernet cable as opposed to relying upon Wi-Fi, which makes sense because like we're outside of the ship.
Nice. And you have like Imani basically has to respond to you too, because like if she doesn't move her dorsal fin or whatever, then you're not going to be able to repair this thing, right? So you have it's like a repairing the relationship talk or something. So does Moza overhear this stuff too then? Like can Moza plug in and hear this too? Or
Yeah, totally.
Yay!
cool. So you're both up on the ship, you're cabled into it. Steve, do you mean like in the distance where the moons are and stuff, we also see artificial stations like hovering around and stuff? Is that what you're saying in chat? You're muted.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting. You know, something beyond just the two moons. You know, it would be a satellite passing by, or you know, a obvious sign of a foreign structure.
Cool. Sounds good. And you guys are on the ship. You interface with Imani. Moza can hear it. And go.
Yeah. Awesome. I think while I'm fixing the ship, I'd like to probe her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna probe the ship.
Okay. I like how
and
she shut you out, but then you have this other move where you're just like, I don't think so.
Glenn,
You're talking
you gotta
to me.
talk to me. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. And I think I'm feeling my emotion wheel. Probably not happy. I think probably a bit rejected. I'm probably feeling kind of scared.
Okay.
Ooh, this is gonna go really well.
And during this whole conversation, we have the backdrop of like you two also helping like the ship as well, like fixing it or whatever.
Yeah, with tender loving care. But I rolled a 5.
Ooh, okay.
I can't give a +2, can I?
No, you can't give a +2. Although I'll run this by you guys because everyone here is pretty familiar with PBTA. I don't like the help and hinder move. It's just the same as all the other ones, right? But I think what I like and what I do in Uncanny Echo now is I make it if somebody helps, they're entangled in the roll as normal, but the other person rolls with advantage, so they roll 3d6. And
I
if
love
they,
it. I love it. I
Yeah.
really do find it fun. I like because the +1, then it becomes this tactical thing of like, oh, you rolled a 5, F you. Whereas like fictionally, my character would still put themselves at risk and try to help, but then mechanically, I'm like, why would I do that? That's so dumb.
yeah,
Another option, if you want to make people entangled, is that it could push them up to a success level, like just take away the whole die thing, which is similar to something that they do in No Country for Old Kobolds.
that's true. The 3d6 still has a chance of failing, though.
Right.
Is nice.
But it also adds a whole nother die roll. That's all I'm saying.
No. I'm thinking like you describe yourself helping, you're entangled in the original roll, and instead of them rolling 2d6, you roll 3d6 and you take the highest two. And if you're not helping them, hindering them, then it's
Worse.
worse too. Exactly.
Yeah,
so it's just one roll still.
True. Yeah,
I think
that's how Impulse Drive does it, and I like it when I've played it that way.
Oh, Impulse Drive does that?
Sorry.
Mhm. What? You okay?
I got real excited because I rolled a 1 on that roll.
Oh, nice.
That would
Well, and so roll another die though. So you take the highest. So roll one more
you still
die.
5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you roll one more die. I gotcha.
Yeah, and then we'll take the highest one.
I still get to take humanity, huh?
No, because we'll take the two highest ones.
Oh, the high. Okay,
So
that would
it'll
make
be-
it a 9.
All the way up to 10 then, right? Or is that a -1?
It'll be
I'm at a -1, yes.
It'll be a 9-8, yeah. So it still works though. So you still get hold 1.
One question.
And throughout this conversation, I like to think that Amani's like, you're asking like, hey, can you move the dorsal fin 45 degrees and like all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. And
then,
I think the tone. Oh yeah.
Eventually, that's what you like when you think that Amani is being amenable. That's when you breach the conversation that's about to happen, basically.
Yeah, like I
Is
like
that
to think
right?
it begins like, yeah, kind of not passive aggressive, but like a little bit tense, you know, like
Okay.
we're just doing a job here, can't get personal, and then as we
I think
get
Amani's
into it.
being I think when Amani's cold to you, they act more machine-like than human, right? So you're at one point you're like, "Oh, can you move your, aft fin 45 degrees or whatever?" And she just replies with 45 degrees confirmed, right?
Yeah.
Instead. So what do you say?
So I think as she's working away at it, she pauses for a second and rests a hand on the ship and asks her, after we finish with here, what do you wish I'd do?
I'm trying to think, what would a body do with shade? um I remember Amani being pretty, like, near the end, Amani was a pretty open person with you. But, oh, I know. Amani says, kind of like, we'll assume that there's been like some past history a little bit and say that I'd like for you to remember more about Q. Because that was the person that Amani was in love with, right? And they're your imprint.
And I think she like strokes the, like, which is a bit like kind of funny because I guess I feel like she's wearing like thick gloves and shit, but she tries to make it like a tender gesture, and asks like, how do I go about doing that?
Ooh, I know. It's cyberpunk and it's Cowboy Bebop. There's a drug for this, for sure. Right? So,
it also sounds very money.
yeah, let's say it's called like regress or something, right? And what it does is it puts you in the state of like, it surfaces your imprint for a little bit of a time. And it probably like messes with your health a little bit. But it's something that you can do and maybe have done before, I guess.
Yeah, I think knowing this backs like the tender caress like stops and she thinks on it for a second and she asks like, when I do, will you be there with me to keep me safe?
If you take the drug and you come to the chair or whatever you call it, if there's a special word for the confluence, then I'll meet you at the jazz club where we always meet. I'll let you back in, essentially.
Call it a date.
All you have to do is take some drugs.
Sounds reasonable and rational. I'm curious to know what Moz is thinking. Is Moz like, is Moz getting just like one half of this conversation? Are you getting the whole thing because you're linked in?
I think it would be the whole thing, right?
Yeah, like especially since Z helped. I think the whole conversation and so many more questions come from the answers. Where's this bar?
Oh my god, is this gonna sound real crazy?
Well,
Like,
I don't know if it's crazy. Like, I think imprints are a thing in the galaxy, and I think it would be common
okay, yeah.
common knowledge that like people that are shepherds are like just people that bond with ships as if they're people and stuff, right? So I don't know if it'd be
Oh, I
like,
did,
whoa,
yeah.
crazy or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
still like obviously take a bit of explaining. But the idea that you bond with the ship, I think, is just like something that people know about shepherd imprints.
Awesome. Cool. I dig it. So I think instead Max says, "Oh, the jazz club is the point of confluence for me and the ship. It's yeah, it's a special place."
Can I go? Please?
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like, don't take this the wrong way. Like, I would like to show you, but this is like it's kind of our thing. Like, it's my safe space. My safe space. It's really, really, really private.
What if I tell you a secret about Rill? Will you let me go? It's really good.
Is it? Yeah, okay, fine. What is, I mean, what kind of secret is it?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Are you saying this over interface with the ship listening?
Yes, because Mosa doesn't know that Imani is jealous.
Wait, what's the secret?
Imani? Oh, sorry, not Imani. I flipped name, sorry. Rill is interested in being intimate with you. Isn't that lovely?
With me?
Well,
I
why
mean, that's
not?
the feeling I got, but
Yes.
and I mean, well, like, Roll knows I'm in a committed relationship.
I didn't say you had to be intimate. I thought it was lovely. I thought Rill was cut off. And to find out that she's interested? It's a shame that you're in a committed relationship, but it's a commitment. I understand.
Thanks. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I'm like really flattered.
She
and
didn't
I get.
send me here to ask. I'm betraying her confidence.
Oh, can I trust you then? Like,
of course.
If I share my, I mean, because I'm kind of sharing a part of me. Like, I've never shared this with someone else before.
Well, that's something you should have asked before you made this promise to share it with me. I'm doing it because Rill likes you. She would never tell you. Would she ever tell you? Tell me, would she ever tell you?
I guess not. She wasn't that friendly when we were eating earlier.
Didn't seem that way. You didn't even know. You should be thanking me. Don't worry about betrayal of confidence and lying. And I'm telling you the truth. And by you opening up and showing me this bar, I'll learn more about you. And I can help you too.
Can I probe Malta?
Yep.
Excellent.
Also, just putting it out there too, it is the future. So although you can't feel what you would feel for a ship for a person with your imprint, maybe polyamorous relationships exist probably too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think like for Max is so.
Time to mention that kind of meant like the emotional aspect.
Whoops. Well, okay. Let's get that probe on. How are you feeling, Max?
How was Max feeling? I think probably, oh geez, probably still, she's a lot more scared than I anticipated her feeling. I think she's feeling a bit like bewildered.
Bewildered.
A bit embarrassed.
Cool.
That's so good. Oh, I think that's bumped it down to a 6. So I don't get to ask a question.
Why?
Um,
What? It
I'm
says-
gonna. Oh, sorry. It takes in the modifier.
Yeah, it modified it for you.
Damn it! I thought I had Roll20 down, and I clearly don't.
Question.
Awesome.
And I don't intend. I'm just kind of more of a rules question. We can help after the roll. Can we hinder after the roll?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'm not going to hinder this time. I just want to know how it
I'll
goes.
hinder.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think like Max gives Maza like a real straight look and asks, "Are you telling me the truth here? Like honestly, are you telling me the truth here?
So,
Like,
yeah, Mosa Real didn't say it out loud, but I am a mirror. I have been studying Real. I know the way she acted at dinner was not obvious, but it was to me. I'm telling the truth. She wants to be intimate with you. Perhaps your
Okay.
committed relationship would have an open mind about this. Then you could make Real happy. And aren't you curious?
I mean, and then I think Max wishes she could like block Imani's ears, but she can't because she's like currently
Or you
cabling
could
to her.
take off the thing. Thing it, right? And then just say it out loud.
Oh, that feels so gross and dirty.
I guess.
So let me ask a question. Did Mosa know that Max is in a committed relationship to Imani?
Oh,
Or is that the committed, or have I misinterpreted? That's the committed relationship, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Although, based on what I've said, it's even more interesting than that because it's more like Amani is mostly using Max as a vehicle to talk to Q again, right? So it's a committed relationship, but it's like mostly to get at Q, probably.
So wait, the vehicle is using you as a vehicle to get to the relationship it wants. Yeah,
real
once
simple.
Mosa finds that out,
I was
that's not going to stand. Z is not happy about that.
I think like maybe Max like does give out an exasperated sigh and just pulls out her cable. And says to Maza, "Don't get me wrong, I love my ship. My ship is a part of me, and tried to feel things for other people, and it just doesn't work. Like, but with the ship, I feel loved, and I mean today was like a bad day, but I feel loved and warm and cared for. And yeah, I would maybe like to try feeling that with someone else, but when I start going down that path, I kind of hate myself for it because I feel like I'm betraying the thing that I love most and I know loves me most.
That's beautiful. I can't wait to see you at the bar with her.
Yeah, I guess I'll see you there.
I guess I'll see you there. Nice. Does anyone else have any other scenes that they want to hit on for questions? Before?
Not at the moment.
Bro's good? Cool. So maybe that's the moment when you get like maybe there's like a large bell-like thing attached to the hanger that glows red or whatever when you're getting like an incoming transmission, kind of like fireman or something like that. Since Amani can't speak to you anymore. Or Moses is still connected, right? So maybe Amani is like your just says like in the most machine-like cold way, your presence is requested at the communications area for everybody inside the ship. You hear it on the speakers, and the only one that doesn't hear it is Max, I guess.
Mose will say, "Oh, you're not fooling anyone."
I think it's just like a brief hiss of static in your right ear for a second. Yeah. Amani Ghost in the Shells you. Cool. So I'm picturing the community. Well, does everybody go to the communications place?
Yeah.
I'm picturing it kind of like old school, like maybe a projector is set up, and it looks like Minority Report-ish when he's watching the. Has everyone seen Minority Report? No?
I've seen
Nice.
Minority Report.
Okay.
And the best way to watch that movie is the moment that he goes under. Everything else after that is a dream and it doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
That's the best way to watch that movie without being annoyed.
Yeah. Well, there's like 3 projectors on the roof that shine down as if they're gonna hit a white screen, but instead it's like constructing a hologram. That looks quite real, but the CG effect makes it look very much like a projection still, even though it looks real. Like when it moves, you see the light change, and it's like a little like second behind or something. But we get a picture of. Let me send it to you. I had this picked out. I think this is the elusive man person. They're sitting. I'm gonna lean into Mass Effect, I think, and they're sitting on like a chair with like the galaxy behind them, right? And you see their body, like it's it's like a windbreaker type material, white and covering all of their body, and it looks like quite an old man. Both eyes are cyberized, and also it looks quite strange, especially in Inheritance, because in Inheritance everything is very like genetically and constructed to be human, whereas this looks like quite not, right? This is a person who's prolonged their life for a very long time, and it looks as if they have like cybernetics installed on their person to keep that life. So for whatever reason, they're not re-sleeving into new bodies, and they're not like having slacks constructed like you guys, like imprints and stuff, right? They've wanted to prolong the body that they're in for whatever reason, and they have various cyberized parts of them from the neck up, and one eye is red and one eye is white, and they have like a little symbol on their chin there that is probably the marker of like a now long dead corporation that used to make cybernetics that now like doesn't exist. It would be like seeing like a Google symbol or something on it, right? And there's no Google anymore. It's hundreds of years in the future or whatever. They have white hair protruding from this like cyberized face, and only the portion like this around them looks still human and has scars and is old, but for whatever reason they've preserved this body. And when they speak, I think it's a little bit mechanical, as if it's like their voice is being assisted. And they say, good work. I guess it would be like yesterday or something. Good work on the previous mission, whenever it was. And behind them, there's like a comet, and the moons and stuff are like turning around. It gives like it's meant to be a sort of disorienting thing so that you don't pay too much attention to this elusive figure. And for the mission, I think they transfer you guys 2 credits each. 2 cred each, which is credits. And then they say, I have another one for you. And I think they, to show that they're even more antiquated, maybe people don't smoke anymore, but they still do, right? Just like elusive band style. And the smoke actually comes out of the side of their neck, though. So they breathe it in, and then it like puffs out like gills, kind of. And they say, we've got another Earther jumped into his slack, but this time they're on the belt. And I think the belt is referring to a very like predominant street on the Mars colony that really like important, influential, rich people go to, and it's a beltway of like entertainment experiences and stuff like that. It would be like going to see Broadway shows and like high-end clubs, high-end music production, stuff like that, stuff that most people cannot usually see. So by saying that they're on the belt, they're implying that discretion is needed on this job, right? You'll need to take them out without disrupting high society, and that's just implied. For your trouble, you'll get 4 cred each, so it's double that job, which was still like, it was like a tough job, right? So it seems like a exorbitant amount of money, I think. And then as the smoke puffs out again, they wait for any questions or concerns about the job.
So I just want to make sure I'm clear. We got 2 cred for what we just did.
For what you just did, yeah. Taking out those people in the camp.
And this job is 4 cred offered?
4 cred each for taking out 1 person. But it has to be discreet, because high society can't be seen with like someone dying and being clipped in the open, etc.
And are we given, name, face?
Yeah. It'll be like they'll say that they I need to find a Pinterest thing later, but they send you the picture. And it's an Earther who's jumped into a synthetic slack, which is like probably why it got spotted. It's not very like high society people wouldn't be jumping into synthetic slacks. It'd be like really nice, organic, well-bred, high-class bodies instead of just like a synthetic sleeve, right? So it got flagged right away, and it's basically like calling like a really good garbage man to come and remove it from high society, basically. The catch is that it's penchant the alias of the operative is Penchant, and they're wanted for crimes on Earth, which was like destroying a Slack factory, essentially. Like they blew up it, and they're like rallied against. Um, they're known to be like militant and organized and very dangerous person. So it's quite strange that they have been so overtly telegraphing their position by putting themselves into a sleeve that would, or a Slack that would get noticed right away. And yeah, and so it's almost like they're taunting somebody to come and get them, and that's why it's like more money to deal with them. It'll be tough, and they're also like well armed, and yeah, essentially they're not sure why. They're being like very cautious and like saying like, if you can deal with this, since it's a hard problem to deal with, you'll be getting like a lot more money, right? Like double killing 3 people for 1 person in a shitty Slack.
What's security like on the belt?
The belt is like the most well patrolled place that you could go to, because basically think private security in a really well groomed community, except for the entire length of like Broadway, right?
Weapon restrictions.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow weapons on there, but you guys have ways around that, I'm sure.
Well, some of them.
Yeah.
It's hard to, take the, humongous, kinetic shotgun, and start
maybe,
walking down the street with it.
Shotgun. Yeah, sounds like a good place to pick up some regress, yeah.
I'll ask the loose man, any known associates?
All the known associates come up, and it's like a team of people sort of that resemble you, like people that were selected to do specific tasks, except it's like guerrilla warfare. And then you see across like all of their faces, it says like deceased, and like 1 or 2 are presumed dead, but the team was like considered to have been wiped out. It'd be like if Roy Batty in Blade Runner was the last surviving person, and the Blade Runners got everybody else, basically. Any other questions, concerns? And the whole time, just picture like slow, steady movements of smoking this cigar down, and we get like profile shots of his face where it's like silhouetted, but the butt of the cigarette keeps going up like Spike style in Cowboy Bebop, and then it
Nice.
gets ejected from his neck instead of through his mouth.
Do we have a screed sheet or a readout of the crimes of this person? Like, are they bad, or have they just snuck in and are begging people to come into the ritzy place and make a mess?
No, yeah, like they're. I think there'll be like a clip of how they like ID'd the person, and it got flagged to the system, and all of this started, and they're being like ostentatious, spending money, schmoozing with people. It's very like overt that they're trying to get noticed, and that's the strange thing about it. Yeah, like they're in a low grade Slack, acting as if they belong in high society when nobody knows them, going to shows, going to restaurants, doing all these things, trying to just get noticed, apparently. So that's what's like really put them off.
Okay. But as far as what we know, this individual hasn't committed a crime other than being where they're not supposed to be?
The rap sheet would be like completely redacted. You'd see like all the team members, and it shows as like militant people acting against the government, blowing up Slacks and all that kind of stuff, like convicted for rallying people and blah blah blah. But then when you get to his sheet, it's just like it'd be like wanted person number 1, and then all crimes like redacted for confidential reasons and like enemy of the state, that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool. I just want to know if it's a political thing or is this a person who's like has a history of big heists and that kind of stuff. But
it's like they tell you that it's basically a leader of a similar team like you who like back on Earth was known for and targeted against the government for doing all those things against the government. Like they're a war criminal as far as they're concerned, except it's with like corporate lingo. So war criminal for them would be like, you cost us money, basically.
Sure. Yeah, that's very clear to me. Thank you. That's what Moza would want to know.
Cool. As far as they're concerned, they're armed, dangerous, and need to be put down like a dog, essentially.
Woof, woof.
Yeah. What does the fox say?
Timeline?
I think just ASAP. Like basically they're worried that the local police is going to catch on to who this person is and try to take them down, and that's maybe like what this guy wants, right? To like cause a big scene, maybe make his death political. Maybe he's backed up somewhere else and just using the slave to make a political statement or something like that. It's his first time, I think, registered as coming to Mars, though. Usually he's just an Earther and a shit disturber.
Okay.
More smoke, puff, puff. Any questions, bro? Max?
I mean, do we know the security details? Do we have schematics? Like, you gotta give us something.
They're like, he keeps popping in and out of regular surveillance as if he is just trying to have a good time, right? Like it would be footage from like 20 minutes ago or something like that. Like it's a red alert or whatever. We just noticed this militant Earther is here causing a problem, and you guys are like the closest team. Let's take this guy out. And so like as far as information, I think you'll be able to see his like last known coordinates on the place, but it is definitely sporadic. Like it's not like they have a satellite on him and you can just like watch him going by in the strip right now. He keeps like leaving and resurfacing, and where he resurfaces is like maximum visibility. It'd be like somebody knowing that they're being surveilled, popping up in the spots that are the most surveilled so they get noticed, right? But then after that, they're gone until they reappear again at the next like highly trafficked surveilled place.
One more question then.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me we get some cool threads. Like, what's like as an N? Because we gotta have an N, right? Like, fancy clothes.
Oh, like clothes?
Yeah.
You want them to buy you to blend in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what they do is like you have like a 3D printer for clothes, and there's like a status light that shows like your credit limit or whatever, and right now it's like red and it turns to like white or black, like platinum or whatever, right? So you could just print whatever you want.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You literally have a license to print.
Those were the important questions I had.
Okay.
We get some cool clothes. The answer is yes. I'm very happy about this.
What occurs to me too, though, Rich, do you have any moves that would apply to this? Since you've got the honor bound action going.
Oh, I do. When I assimilate the information I have available on a target, roll, and then I can generate position or weakness or security they may have. their greatest weakness and what makes them feel safe or secure. So yeah,
Cool.
this is what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really could have used the voice. Oh, that's it. I'm going to use the voice on Amani. I'm just saying that out loud so someone will gate and say, "Hey, Rich, weren't you going to do that thing?" And I'll be like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then you'll remind me, and I'll say, "Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Who thought of that?" Let's see. Yep, everything else that Z has is time and intimacy. So yeah, I'm going to roll the art of the pursuit if that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
How does Z feel?
And then I'll maybe follow that up with Tracer.
Oh, cool. Double team.
Yeah.
I think Z feels powerful. This is a thing that Z can do, and it should be like low kill count, which is
Right.
good. That is an 8. I actually succeeded, y'all.
Nice.
I get a hold. So I just spiked that. Cool. I am going to ask the question: discern their position or weakness in their life in order to do so.
I think you as all the videos are popping up on the like.
Oh wait,
beside
I'm
him.
sorry. Can I pull that back?
Yeah.
They're being ostentatious. We know where they are.
Yeah,
right?
like
That's a dumb question for me to ask. So hold on.
Like it could be used to predict where he might be next based on what. Where
but the fact they're being ostentatious, I don't think that's a good use of my one hold. So I'm going to ask, discern what security they may have or what kind of a threat they'd be to you.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, I like that. So I think maybe you're looking at all the videos and stuff and where he's popping up. And I think each time he pops up, like it's only been like 20 minutes or something like that, right? You see him like keep brushing up against like socialites and stuff like that with the slack, which remember is synthetic. And you see his body mass kind of getting like a little bit lighter as if he's passing on things to people as he's like discreetly schmoozing with them and stuff. And it's from like as if he's like injecting something into these people through his own body.
I'll share that with the group. Make sure they all get that too. That's definitely a risk.
Sounds like he's turned himself into a biological weapon.
Dun dun dun.
We have far more things to worry about than removing him.
Yeah, like everyone he's touched could be maybe infected even, right?
And contagious.
Maybe.
If he's smart.
Well, he seems like it based on his rap sheet. He's not an idiot or anything. But it still begs the question that why he would
What's his motivation?
Well, why for motivation, but also why would he keep popping up in front of like all these cams and stuff, right? And wanting to be like seen if he's doing this.
Possible his death is the trigger.
Awesome. Who knows? And do people want a break? We only have half an hour left, but technically it's an hour later. Are people good?
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good?
Yeah, I'm good to push through. And, if we feel tired before the 3 hours, then we just end early, I guess. I don't know. I'm good. How about Alex?
I am all good.
Cool. Okay, so what's the plan then? And I think if you guys are done, then the projector just like stops or whatever, right? So you're alone in the dark in this room with the information that this person has maybe weaponized themselves.
I guess the game question is when is the appropriate time to roll Tracer? Is that something that's usually when you're more on the track of the target?
Whatever you think. I think the trigger is taking like something in from them.
Simulate a trace of them. Yeah, so I probably need something.
Yeah, you probably need to get to
physical
like
or otherwise.
the previous location they're at or something like that,
Okay.
right? And get like a thing. So what's the plan, everybody? And what are your duds look like? What is classy wear in Mars?
I mean, I'm keeping the duster look going on.
So it's just like a like a duster, but with like really fine fabrics and like a little bit
fine
of
fabric,
like,
tailored, to my form. Probably more of like a, rich gray as opposed to, just being, like the blacker, like the tan leather, type duster.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's so I can have my mag blades underneath. But.
Right. People don't know that you have death under there. They're just like, that's a very nice long coat you have there. You should see my shotgun.
Well,
No, I'm not happy to see you. That is a shotgun.
No shotgun.
I like to think that the ship spits out a dress that would be familiar to the audience for Max, which is black and white mosaic kind of. At this point, I guess it would be very retro wear, but it's like long sleeved, long, black and white mosaic kind of dress with like sort of tiles that are threaded together. It's very shiny and sparkly, very jazz bar.
Nice, yeah.
Mosa's wear is a black half vest that from just beneath where's her chest, that where's her breast would be, like the midriff is this cloth that actually broadcasts a signal, and it will occasionally like fuzz out and then be completely sheer, and it just shifts between those, so it's like a peekaboo type of thing, and then really long flowy pants. Z has the bolas around their side, around their waist, like a belt. So he's just got these big 3 like kinetic bola snaps, and then one around their neck that looks like a necklace. It's actually a deadly weapon, or not a deadly weapon. It's an entangling weapon, guys. It's not deadly at all, although it does do 2 harm. But it's not deadly.
Oh, it does do 2 harm. Nice. What about Brill?
Brill prints off like a dark red dress. It's like, it looks like a plain dress, but like every now and then you can see like dust blowing through it. It's like actually like a video feed of like the outside of Mars.
Cool.
And then puts over like the spider flashwear coat over that.
Nice. Gotta still look badass. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So is the plan just to go to, I think you'll just have like an open feed of information whenever they like spot the dude or whatever, they just send it, right? And you can see it in your HUD.
Right. I think I would like to use the road now.
Okay.
Which allows me to let's see, how does it read? Pursuit of something I've traced. I can treat the path to get there as a situation or place for purposes of analyze.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I think that's me going through, possibly going through all the footage they have of him. Where he's first seen, all the points there.
Sure.
And I think I'm going with powerful in this case. And I get experience points.
Yeah, nice. So, what would be interesting here? Oh, so I think you. Is it safe to say you guys are going to the like last known location or whatever expeditiously, or what? Yeah.
I mean, that seems fine for me.
Yeah. Okay. So you get to like the the strip, and you like they make you land probably like below it or something like that, and then there's like a what would it be? It would be like a enclosed elevator or something like that that goes down to your ship and just like sucks you right up. And when you get up there, it's like a rainbow colored road that is suspended. So it's not like on a street level, of course, because they're really well off, right? But it's it's kind of a dick move because they make it floating just above the cloud surface that separates them from the lower caste, born people that we were talking about before. So they're literally like walking on these people's dreams, basically, just above this foggy thing. And I think the filter on the road of whatever you're seeing makes it like a lot nicer to look at. So from the bottom, when you're coming up or whatever, you see the smog is like really gross and stuff that we see here, right? Like, and it would be like Shanghai at the worst times, right? Like really dark and gross and smelly and stuff. But up top, when you're looking through it down, it makes it look like a not magical, but like really, it makes it look like a pure, nice little cloud instead of like the gross thing, right? And people are I've never been to like Broadway or anything, but like I'm thinking kind of like Times Square packed. Like there's a lot of people, there's a lot of traffic, and above you there's like spectacles. It's as if you go to I can't remember what it's called. That street in Las Vegas where they have all those performances above you. Do you know what I mean? It's like an avenue that you can go to that's like off of the strip. I can't remember what it's called now, but above you there's like people on wires that are doing like tricks and acrobatics and stuff like that. There's probably like little rails set up just for Brill to see the people on Heelys going down, right, doing the tricks that we saw you doing in the supply room, except that you probably did it better than them, right? But you know they're trying. They're just paid folk though, and we get this shot of you guys like looking around, and there's this like the camera frames it as like a daunting task just because the sheer weight of the people. But with technology these days, you've already had like um, the camera paint all the like start to get all the targets that it could see, like when it zooms in and sees the person that you're hunting brush up against another person, they've like marked them. And I think you're like making your way through the crowd, and the first person that you get to, maybe the first person that was touched, as soon as you're about to like reach out and grab them, they fall down and like start convulsing. What do you do?
If anyone starts convulsing, I'm gonna run up and try to help them.
How do you do that? Is there oh, also, there's a very important thing that I forgot to tell you guys. From Cascade, anyone who knows that, in Cascade, people know this, but you two don't. There's flashbacks in this game, and how you use a flashback is you can like you can use it to answer questions that you have in your playbook for one, but also you could use it for situations where you're like, I am synthesizing antidote or whatever on the ship, and I'm making it all that. And the way it works is it's tied into the role that you're making. So if you're like, I want to help them, they roll risk or something like that, and whatever your roll result is, we take the higher number minus it by the lowest number, and that is the amount of spikes that you add to it. So instead of adding one spike, you're adding quite a bit, and you could spike out, right? But you also get to do the flashback scene. And so yeah, just know that is a thing.
Okay.
So with that, Mozo, how are you helping this person?
So I'm clear. The flashback is a heavy spike tool.
Yes.
It doesn't give a mechanical advantage, but it gives a fictional advantage to be prepared for a thing.
Yeah, and also to help you answer questions about your previous life, right? Like maybe you have a question about like maybe you take humanity harm at one point and you see like a vision of your previous life where they were like really upset or something, and you make a question about that as sort of a personal state question as a player that you want to have answered, but you don't have the answer to it yet. When you think of the answer for that later on in like an episode or two later, you can have a flashback and answer it yourself about your own character in the previous lifetime and have that question answered, that kind of thing. So you could use it for whatever tool you want.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Moza is just going to try to move up and aid this person and look around if there are any authorities who could help out, queuing up some information on the local medical care facility.
So is it, let's see, for move wise, are we looking at like an analyze would be your best bet, or is it a lift the veil to just get like a question of like how can I help this person, or what kind of
I
information?
think lift the veil seems right, so let's do that.
Cool.
All right, so I just roll. I think Z is a little worried, so we'll go with scared.
Mm-hmm.
That is 12.
That's pretty
Those
good.
boxcars.
Yeah. So okay, you know everything.
Hey.
So what was exactly the question that you wanted answered?
What's been done to this person, and how can I help them?
Okay. So I think let's see. What is your enhancements? Maybe I can color this well as well.
Their enhancements are in the notes, and it is
communication HUD.
Does it ended? Hold on. Dang it! Now I feel like a doo-doo head. Let's see, what did I have?
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're the mirror, so you would primarily get your enhancements by reflecting other people, but you have integrated HUD and communications and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So. Yes. Let's see. I think you bring up the HUD and you're doing all this like searching and stuff like that, and maybe you cross-reference the ooh, I know. In the background, let's say this whole time you've been like running a cursory search on this person's like last exploits and stuff on Earth, right? Because you saw it was like all redacted, and you were like, that's suspicious. I should check into that some more. And so you cross-reference like maybe some of the dates that you saw on the redacted file, and they just pop up now with events, and you see there's like a very clear signature of which this person has done before. They haven't done it through the means of like fabricating a synthetic Slack, but they have like used this compound on Earth before, and you get like the chemical structure and makeup and stuff. And what would be a cool way to expel it that wouldn't be gross on the street?
I mean, could it be, nanobots and they just hop to, whatever it brushes up against?
That's true. I guess nanobots could just be. Oh yeah, maybe you guys all in preparation for the fact that the linker had said that like, oh, this guy's losing body mass and all of that stuff. Maybe you have nanobots on you, and they just need to be programmed to attack the thing that it is. So you just like put in the information to the nanobots, and then you can give it to them. What does that look like? Is it like a like what does it look like to get the nanobots to
I think so. You just taps an earring, and then we get the it gets bigger, right? And we see the little nanobots all fly out in this little swarmy formation, and there's a Wi-Fi connected communication between them and what Z has found on Zer's display, and feeds it to the nanobots, and they go in and kind of do the big blow up of going into the pores of the person's face, because got to go for the face.
Totally. It's definitely why it's definitely how you got to do it. There's some information or whatever on the screen that like the writers have emailed a sci-fi writer and be like, how would you do this? And then they said it and we just copied and pasted it on there, and they're like, yeah, it's a hand wavium, it works. Yeah, face nostril hearing nanobot thing happens. So the larger question becomes, though, this guy was like going around and touching a lot of people, right? So what's the plan? And also you need to find him ostensibly.
Right. I'll transmit. This appears to be the antidote to what he's just done, and I'll transmit that to the rest of the team.
And to make it like nice and dramatic, we'll say that it has to be like administered quickly, right? It's like a fast acting thing. So the reason why you were able to save this person was that like you saw them go down right away, right? And then you dealt with it right away too. And so
yeah, and like in a normal place, we would just transmit this out and it would go over the feed, but we're supposed to keep this quiet. So
exactly. So how does anyone have any ideas? Does the linker
over the comm, I do say great work, and I'm going to see if I can get a sample of the material that he transmitted to this victim.
Sure. Like, we'll say that. Let's say that you have like cool CSI stuff on you or whatever, where like, what it looks like is he just made, like we get another CGI shot of like his hand brushing up against their skin, and his hand getting like a little bit thinner, and then it goes in even deeper or whatever to the molecular level, and we see like this stuff moving between skins as if his own body is the nanobot. So maybe all you need to do is like swap that spot.
Yeah, like pass over, device. There's, a light, that shines from it, and it sort of attracts it almost like a magnet.
Exactly. And this is you taking in linking stuff, right?
Yep. And for that, I do Honorable Tracer.
Trace it up.
I think this is stimulating and exciting for me, so I'm going to go with Joyful. You tell when it gets to 5 on that little bar.
Have you been mitigating your stuff though? I hope I explained it last time, but
no.
So for if you look at your linker playbook, it looks like, since I just updated them, they don't have the lines on them, but mad and peaceful are connected, sad and joyful are connected, and scared and powerful are connected as well. So when you make a move in one of them, you mitigate the other one by removing a dot in that one. So let's say that you just rolled powerful, and then you go to roll scared, you would remove the dot from powerful and then add it to scared. So you're constantly like mitigating it as you're using the different emotions. So if I apologize if I didn't.
No, that's okay. I will look at that.
So in that way, that's a good way of not spiking out. So you can like both be balanced as like a player with doing stuff, but also it like manages the emotional baggage as you're giving like a dynamic performance, basically, if you want to game it like that.
Okay.
Otherwise, in fiction, if you're staying with a specific motion and you roll with it a few times, then obviously you'll spike it out. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I have 7, which allows me choose 1. Say discern the next step in the path they've left of themselves.
Cool. And
yes, you can describe the others.
yeah. So I think in your haste, not all the nanobots are like disabled. So I think you get like the audience sees it as like a bloody nose, right? As you basically get infected with the nanobots and then your system clears it out. But they weren't completely deactivated. And how you're altered by the pursuit of this, I think, is that like what is this person like? I think you get like like one of your things that you took was you get disgusted with people that aren't imprints or lower, right?
Well, I treat them all as second-class citizens.
Second class. So the people around you, like all these like dilettantes and really high society people that normally you wouldn't feel this way about, you now regard as like worthless people. Like you take on the aspect of the killer in that what he thinks about these people is all that they're lambs to the slaughter and should be dead. You don't get it to that extent, of course, but you kind of feel like disgusted with the people around you. That's the shift.
And then for discerning the next path,
the path, I think your eyes, well, you can tell me this, like you see him, you'll be able to find him in, ooh, yeah, let's go like a very old retro movie theater that still is like actually showing movies, like a projector. So he's around all these people, right? And it's maybe, I don't know, like it's like it's framed in this way as sort of like you're going to see like porn, right? Like except that it's an old movie. It'd be like Casablanca, but it's like cinephile porn or something like that. So you'll be able to find him there, and you can tell me what that looks like. Make it like really cool, right? Like however you think it would be interesting to be able to track this person.
Yeah, I'm trying to think from the material that I acquired. Open ideas.
Well, it could be even like
I mean, I could see maybe a trail if the nanobots are giving off some sort of, communication or
like maybe your
maybe
eyes,
multi-spectrum eyes.
Yeah, like your eyes change to like a color that nobody else's can or something like that, and then you see this like residue of the nanobots, because he's basically losing a part of himself every time he's like trying to disseminate it to other people, right? So it would make sense, I think, to see like a residue of that or something.
And maybe, even footprints, leading in a particular direction.
Mm-hmm. And so what is it like? What does the audience see?
I think they see that result on the HUD. They see, a few, colors in the spectrum. Sort of giving off sort of like a, a little bit of like a reddish glow or an orangish glow on people, wandering here and there. But it's the footprints and, the marks on the side of a building, on the door, that he's gone in that give away his exact location.
Cool. And then so for the rest of you guys, what is the plan for like disseminating this cure too, right? In like a discreet way.
I mean, I can totally interface with something and cheat on the ship.
Cheat on the ship. I don't know if that would be considered cheating on the ship.
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
So is there like a... Well, there's probably got to be... Well, in the whole biodome, there's got to be some atmospheric control thing or something that you could get it to like discreetly maybe like customize it so it's just like some kind of neat effect, right? Like they see stars falling from the sky and they think it's like a really cool spectacle or something, but actually it's like the nanobots and they're like breathing it in and it's a cure or something like that.
Yeah, it sounds flashy.
Yeah, or whatever you want it to look like, right?
No, yeah, I dig that a lot.
Okay. Well, why don't we get that roll on the table and that's where we'll cut, I think.
Awesome. What should I be rolling?
And Brill, are you helping in some way too? We haven't seen much of Brill in this. Do you have any ideas about what you want to do, what you'd be doing? Or are you more interested in confronting the killer next episode in the thing, or what?
Trying to think of a good way to help, but I'm totally fine just like sitting back.
Do you have any legacy? I mean, I just like framing stuff around moves, but do you have any legacy moves? Like
I have
speak, right?
speak, which is always fun.
Could you speak at things?
Oh, actually, there's the perfect move for this,
Okay.
which is wrenching the gears.
Oh yeah.
So when I analyze something with mechanical or cybernetic systems, I may ask, how is X vulnerable to me?
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
there you go. So you're the one that finds like where you could do this. Yeah, cool. And then the person that can actually do it would be the person that can interface with it, I guess.
Teamwork.
Cool. So how do you feel?
Is this me?
Yeah, you're doing wrench in the gears, right? Or is that not a? Is there no trigger? Do you just get it?
That's part of analyze.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
How am I feeling? Tell me feeling well.
yeah.
I love this so much. Like the holy grail. I'm tempted to go for scared because it's like alert, like on the prowl.
Sure. So we get like the Michael Bay shot of Brill in the dress, like looking around for that like access port or something like that, right? And
Yeah.
it does the Michael Bay like pan up, right? Like from the bottom all the way to the top of like you looking really cool at the center of the screen with the action music playing. Nice.
That is an 8, but I rolled a 1 on it.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Excellent. Well, let's deal with that after that then. We'll deal with that next session when we open. So you asked the question though about the how is it vulnerable to you?
Yeah, how is the dome vulnerable to me?
Okay. Yeah, I think we'll say that there's like a access port for what would they be called? Maybe we'll just call them architects, right? Where the people that design the shows above you obviously need to like have a maintenance panel or something like that to get at and to like tweak it, change it, upload new things like that. And I bet you a lot of the aerial show already is nanobots. And so you just need to get into it and interface with it and change all that kind of stuff. So I think we get like, again, like a very Michael Bay shot of like all this cool stuff happening in the street, and you guys are like going to the access port, which looks like maybe it's like a, ooh, I know, they probably made it look retro or whatever, so you have to like hack a phone booth. The phone booth is like the terminal, because nobody would actually go into a phone booth and interact with it. It's just there for the cosmetics.
Nice.
Cool. And so you're interfacing Lauren with, which isn't a role, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think it means I can interact with the thing as if it were an NPC, right?
Yeah. So what do you think that would be? I think it might be just a vanilla risk roll to see if
I
you
was
can
I
do
was
this
thinking
in
that.
time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cool.
time without getting caught, without raising suspicion.
Mm-hmm. And how are you feeling about that?
I think I'm feeling probably pretty confident. Like, Brill did a really good job of finding this out. Like, our linker is spot on, does his job really well.
Yeah, you guys look even way more confident than Cowboy Bebop.
So probably, I don't know if I'm feeling joyful or powerful. No, I feel quite joyful. I feel quite daring and dashing.
Cool. That's pretty good. You do the shit out of that. Yeah, so you do as you describe, and the danger doesn't come to bear.
Nice.
So, yeah, tell me what it looks like. This will be like the closing shot.
Oh, also, yeah, no, I feel like since this phone booth, right, it's like instead of having a cabled phone, it's like a cable placed in jacket. So Max whacks that in to, like, I guess the base of her neck or wherever you plug it in. And then I guess we see her doing the thing with the stuff in the phone booth, bypassing things, telling the other programs and stuff that are running to, like, just, like, be quiet. This is fine. Like, this is like.
I like that it would kind of sound like a crowd, right? Like everybody's talking, like all these AIs and stuff are like talking and stuff, and then you're like, shh, I need to do something, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, you're like verbally convincing them, except not verbally because it's through an interface, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like this. Yeah, that's each of this thing for me. This is just standard procedure. Like, nothing to see here. Don't worry. And then, yeah, as like she convinces the AI to sort of release these nanobots, we get exactly that. Like, they're very sort of flashy, like falling stars of these nanobots disseminating over the crowd of people, and everyone's sort of like looking at them, oh my god, this is so beautiful. What a great cool show.
Yeah. And then we close on the shot of probably the linker walking up to the old whatchamacallit, the cinephile club, right? Cool. And then that's that session. Do people if you look at your questions, give yourself 1 XP if you work towards it, 2 if you completed it, and then make a new one. And look to your amended section to see if you hit your key or not.
So I want to ask, because it's pointed at Max. My question was, can I get Max to open up to me? I think yes.
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna mark that as resolved. I just didn't want to shortchange you if Moza didn't do well, but I felt like he did.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I think likewise. Can I trust Moza with my secrets? Kind of like, I feel like I have answered that, but I feel like the answer is no. But yeah, I still trust you with
It
feels right.
I like how the last interaction with them too is like, I'll see you at the bar. It's good stuff. Anybody else resolved, work towards?
I feel like I've worked towards, well, I need to fix Moza again. But I kind of want to leave it there until there's like until I actually bring up that I have, fixed Moza before.
Okay.
You did that with a parasite in your head.
I didn't even realize. How did these get
here? And Steve, anything for you?
I
Valentine?
don't think I think I've worked towards trying to get Moza to talk about how to prioritize the mission over their feelings, but I just need to press.
Okay. And what about everybody's amended statements too?
I don't
Make sure
think I
you pay
did.
attention to that. It's an extra key for XP.
I think I did.
Yeah.
That's
So everyone's
my,
good? Everyone's good then? Yeah.
Yeah, for me.
Cool. Okay. I'm gonna stop the
Yeah, I think